Hey everyone. Okay, so not gonna lie, this is one of those chapters where the meatiest bits are all in the end of the chapter, as we get introduced to the head researcher of the lab, a man simply known as Asakura. So going by that name, it's a pretty good bet this man is Shin's father. And obviously, whenever you throw this kind of reveal in, obviously, the first thing to talk about is the potential emotional drama to come from it. Because if you remember, when Shin talked about his time at the lab, he had relatively good things to say. That they were really just a bunch of weirdos doing weird experiments, but nothing that we considered inhumane. But he conveniently left out the part about dear old dad being the head researcher, or even just dear old dad being involved at all. So the question then becomes, what kind of past does he have with his father to leave him out of the conversation? Like, what's the relationship between these two like? And that's something that's probably going to be explored within the next couple chapters, probably. And yeah, talking about Asakura himself, do I do like how from the moment we get introduced to him, he's very much that character who's very much in control. Although that in itself begs the question of, if he knew how to break out, why didn't he? Was he just waiting for someone like Lou to come along to help him escape? I mean, it would kind of make sense considering we get that, yeah, the lab was overtaken by X's group. Which, yeah, on that note, if I did have one critique about this chapter, it did, and maybe this is just my ability that I'm kind of over predicting stuff at this point, but it did it did this chapter did spend a lot of time just kind of confirming what we as the reader already know, with the Asakura reveal being the only major twist. Although I think the purpose with this chapter is more so to put X and his people on in the spotlight as the main antagonists, to in order to reveal to Sakamoto and Shin that X is someone they do need to consider as a threat, that they can't just ignore or pretend doesn't exist by going along with their daily lives. That they do need to consider him a threat to even their simple sort of their simple their hope of living a simple mundane life at this point. So, and in that regard, I do like how it does feel like this chapter is pushing Shin and Taro towards the realization that, like it or not, they are going to be involved in this whole debacle with X, whether they like it or not. Also, on a somewhat smaller note about Shin and Taro, though, just what exactly was Taro wanting to do with that dino skeleton by trying to keep it alive? Like, I know he mentioned Hana would like it, but Taro, my dude, that thing was a literal killing machine. There's no way you were ever gonna placate that thing to act like a friendly little puppy for your daughter. So, like, what the fuck, my dude? Like, seriously, Taro, no, just no, 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 no. Okay, just no, don't do it. And but yeah, and aside from that, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really starting to feel, feel for Tanaka in this this chapter, and the further we go along with this arc. Because yes, even though Tanaka did kidnap Lou, even though the man it was part of the kidnapping group, the man, when you really get down to it, when you really look at this man, he was just doing his job. He was following orders. Like, at the end of the day, he was just a lowly 9 to 5 grunt. So seeing him go through all this misery of being locked up and being to a pulp by Lou, like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I feel for the guy at this point. Like, the man probably just at this point, wants to go home, kick his feet up, and watch some TV. He didn't sign up to deal with this amount of BS in his life, so just let the man go. Let the man get out of this in one piece. Like, let the man be free, because right now everything about him is breaking. Mind, body, soul, everything is just too much for him to deal with at this point. Like, let the man go. Let the man be free. Let the man just experience something he can just relax, where he can just relax. Like, god damn it, this man. He is just too fucking. He's been through enough. Just let the man breathe, for God's sakes. Like, seriously, just let the man breathe. Um, and Yeah, outside of that, not really a whole lot more to talk about. I definitely like how I, I will say among the one other thing, one small thing I will say though is among the dynamic of Shin and Taro in this chapter, and especially this arc as a whole, I do like how how Shin seems to be kind of taking the lead a bit here in this arc, and how it is because Shin is the most familiar with the lab. He's the one who's kind of saying who's giving the orders, giving the advice, just telling Taro of how to even for to navigate around a lot of these traps and a lot of this bullshit. Like Shin seems to be the one in command in a way, which I kind of like. I like how Shin is the one who's taking command in this particular instance. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Blue Sky, Analyst Crunchyroll, push the notification bell, subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of signing off. Later, everyone.